Home to diverse religious and spiritual traditions, Shillong has witnessed the arrival, formation, and growth of different religious organizations within a span of over 100 years. As the city grew, so did its population, opening its doors to people belonging to different communities and religions. Subsequently, from a small town, Shillong gradually became a diverse city rich in religious and cultural practices. In this episode of Shillong's iconic structures, we are featuring the Shillong Gaden Choeling Monastery at Upper Lumparing, the oldest Tibetan Buddhist monastery in Meghalaya. Gently watching over the city from atop a hill, the Shillong Gaden Choeling Monastery is positioned amidst quietude, in nature's lap, and away from the flutter of city life. Though, with time, its vicinity is slowly developing into a residential settlement, yet the peace and tranquility prevail. Established in the 1960s by a few Tibetan families who fled from Tibet amid a Chinese military crackdown in 1959, the monastery is currently managed by the Gelugpa Cultural Society, a non-profit organization that caters to around 160 Tibetan families living in Shillong. According to the Tibetan settlement officer Pema Dhondup, during the 1959 Tibetan uprising, the 14th Dalai Lama was forced to flee from Lhasa, and about 80,000 Tibetans followed him to India through the Himalayas. They have been living in exile in India since 1959, with the largest settlements based in Karnataka and Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh, while some settled in the northeastern states of Arunachal Pradesh and a few in Meghalaya. Before 1980, the monastery was merely a place of worship, sans religious leaders to administer the rites and rituals. Later, the Gelug Tibetan Buddhist Monastery felt the need to send monks to Shillong as the presence of Tibetans in Shillong gradually increased over the years. The Gelug comprises three leading monasteries, namely Sera, Drepung, and Gaden monasteries based in Karnataka. Every 2 years, 15 monks from these monasteries are sent to Shillong to look after the Gaden Choeling Monastery. Currently, 14 from Sera and 1 from Drepung are serving in the monastery. Spread across approximately 30,000 square feet of land, the monastery houses three main structures: the prayer hall and abbot's quarters, the library and dining quarters, and the monks' quarters. At present, the construction of a cultural learning center is ongoing. The faithful assemble every Wednesday and Sunday at the monastery to offer their prayers.
I feel this monastery is very important because in Meghalaya we have only this Tibetan Buddhist monastery. So people can rely, people can have faith. So it is the only monastery where people can, have some hope, to have happiness and joy. So in that sense, it's very important.
As you drive up the Lumparing hill, it is hard to miss this entrancing red and yellow colored structure with a pointy rooftop. Before entering the premises, one is greeted by a multicolored prayer flags, which are symbolic in nature, in addition to the flag of Tibet that bears the illustrations of two snow lions holding a flaming blue, white, and orange jewel, and a blue and orange taijitu, symbol for the concept of yin and yang, on a white mountain with a golden sun rising over it. As one enters the premises, the sights of 4 large prayer wheels outside the prayer hall, paintings and posters on the walls depicting the teachers of Buddha and the different congregations across India are an alluring sight to behold. On regular days, the number of visitors thronging the monastery is thin, but on special occasions like Buddha Purnima and the birth anniversary of the Dalai Lama, the premises resonates with the chantings of monks, the prayers of the devotees, music, dance, and food. Recently, the Shillong Gaden Choeling Monastery celebrated the 87th birth anniversary of the 14th Dalai Lama on July 6th amid prayers, fun, and laughter in the presence of Meghalaya's DGP, Dr. L.R. Bishnoi. Let us now share a bit more about what the monastery's campus encompasses. A 2-storied building that houses the prayer hall and abbot's quarters is a semi-wooden and semi-concrete structure with tin roofs. The prayer hall, where the monks perform their daily rituals, is filled with intricate religious objects like a large drum near the entrance, the scriptures and prayer books, prayer bells, and dorje or vajra, butter lamps, incense burners, gawu box, 7 bowls of water on the altars, representing the first 7 monks, along with the statues of Lord Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. Adjacent to the main building stands another 2-storied Assam-type structure which was built in 1979. It houses the library hall filled with scriptures and sacred objects and the lamp room for devotees to light the lamps on auspicious days, both located on the first floor, while the ground floor houses the kitchen and the dining hall. Behind the main building stands the monks' quarters, the oldest structure on the campus. The first floor of this 2-story wooden structure houses 10 rooms, while the ground floor has 4 rooms mostly used as storerooms.
At present, we have 15 monks. In fact, they all come from South India because this monastery is under the jurisdiction of the leading monastery from our South India, a Tibetan Buddhist monastery. So every 2 years, around 15 to 20 monks, they come to Shillong.
Every day, we wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and then for half an hour, we freshen ourselves up and practice meditation on love and compassion. After that, we all gather at the temple and hold a mass prayer. We pray for the longevity of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and for world peace. After that, we visit the houses of devotees to pray for the families as requested by them.
The monastery has received many prominent personalities over the years. In February 2014, His Holiness the Dalai Lama offered prayers at the monastery during his maiden visit to Shillong to take part in the convocation program of Martin Luther Christian University. President of the Tibetan government in exile, Pema, and the Kalons, ministers of the Tibetan cabinet, also visited the monastery during his visit to Shillong in recent years. Some other prominent personalities who visited the monastery in recent times include Meghalaya's governor, Satyapal Malik, and the Archbishop of Shillong, Reverend Victor Lingdo, and the former Chief Secretary Yeshi Sering, besides other religious, political, and social organization leaders. In the past few decades since its establishment, the Shillong Gaden Choeling Monastery has witnessed many changes, be it in the strength of devotees or its architectural structures. However, its all-encompassing message of compassion and non-violence remains intact through generations.
As a Tibetan and as a Tibetan refugee, we are very thankful to the state of Meghalaya and all the dignitaries and government officials for supporting the Tibetan community in Shillong.
My message to the common people is simple. If you are going through a tough time, look within yourself and introspect. Get rid of the impure thoughts in your mind. It is important to change the way you think because if you can't help others, don't harm them. Practice mindfulness and improve yourself bit by bit.